Welcome. Today is September 29th, 2024, and it's a Sunday paper, so there is no editorial. And the important takeaways from today's newspaper are in page number 1, they have given that Hezbollah chief killed in Israel strike in Lebanon. Hassan Nasrallah has joined his fellow martyrs, says the group, and is the most powerful target to be killed by Israel in weeks of intensified fighting. And Israeli military says it carried out a precise strike. So the Israel military have killed the Hezbollah chief, and in the last few years also they have killed the major 10 people, 10 heads of the Hezbollah community. And in this perspective, the important is what if Hezbollah chief killed, what happened, what will be the potential advantages from Israel perspective. We will see. One is there will be a weakening of Hezbollah's leadership structure, and because Israel have disrupted the command, because he's a high ranking leader, and it weakens the organization by creating leadership vacuums. And also maybe Hezbollah was in confusion, and there will be operational delays also for retaliation. And there will be psychological impact because their prominent leader have lost, and also it will demoralize the fighters and supporters. Next, it will second thing is it will dismantle terror networks. And because Hezbollah poses a significant security threat to Israel, and especially with its missile arsenal. So eliminating key leaders will disrupt their planning intelligence and those things. And also counter-terrorism. A successful strike on a senior Hezbollah figure can deter future attacks. I mean, that is retaliation. And it will also send a strong message to the people, showing the Israel's power. And also there will be regional influences also. And so things are like this. If you want to know more about Hezbollah and Israel, Iran, whatever happening, the dynamics, you can follow a YouTube video, and maybe animated video for that, or else you can watch in your local language so that you can understand the context and content very well. And this topic is so unsustainable in long run in UPSC CSE perspective. They don't ask about these things, but the dynamics, if you can know over a period of time, you'll be forming a perspectives, and that perspectives will help in writing answer and the opinion based things. So we'll switch to the next article. With the new scheme, sun shines on rooftop solar installations, page number 1. This article is about the PM Muft Bijli Solar Yojana, and it's a 75,000 crore scheme, and it's a center-led scheme to install at least 1 crore rooftop solar installation. And now we'll see what are the advantages, how it contributes to the development towards sustainable development and those things. And this initiative, the PM Muft Bijli Solar Yojana, it's ambitious government initiatives, and it is aimed at providing free solar electricity to the households, particularly in rural and hilly areas. And also the scheme aims to harness the solar power potential of India, and it will also address the energy security shortages, and it reduces the reliance on fossil fuels and also promotes the environmental sustainability. So the key objectives of this particular scheme is number 1, it want to provide free electricity for households, and thus it will reduce their dependence on grid based electricity and alleviating energy poverty also. Second point is traveling towards sustainability and green energy, and also thus it can contribute to India's climate goals. And there are agreements like Paris Agreement. So we can by these actions we can ensure that those agreements are satisfied. Third point is it is support for rural areas, grid connectivity, and there are some villages where there is no electricity, especially in northeast areas. So this will uh, provide an aid for them. And also there are many areas in the Himalayan regions also where there is a scarcity of electricity. So this thing will help in some way, although there is less sunlight in the northern part of India. It is like new technologies are like making them better. And what are the expected benefits are it will lead to the reduction in electricity bills. It leads to job creation for the local people and also for the manufacturing industry. And we can untap the solar initiative, and India have initiated the International Solar Alliance. For that also, this will support. So, and in this perspective, what are the other schemes by the government of India? Is one is PM Kusum, that is Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Mahabhiyan. So this scheme encourages farmers to install solar pumps for irrigation and reducing dependency on grid power. And second one is National Solar Mission, and it was launched in 2010, and the mission focuses on a large scale deployment of solar power, and it have put a target of 100 gigawatts of solar energy by 2022. And in budget also in 23-24 also there are targets regarding the solar energy, increasing solar energy capabilities, and also it will contribute to the Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliance India. And it can contribute to SDGs also, sustainable development goals. For example, SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. By increasing solar technology, there will be affordabilities will be increased, and we can promote the clean energy also. And SDG 1, no poverty, because financial savings will be there by the poor people if we provide them the solar equipment. And it will also create the job creation in renewable energy sources. And if India is doing this, it will reduce the greenhouse emission gases which are caused by fossil fuels, and thus we are taking a climate action for this. And also decent work, economic growth will be there because we have high potential for solar energy. And also our India, almost all parts of India receive high amount of sunlight, so we can, I mean, we have high potential for harnessing solar energy. And also we can boost local economies with solar power irrigation projects. And also we can not only self-reliant, we can also export them to other countries also. And it will contribute to good health and well-being, SDG 3, because whenever you use solar aided equipment, then it will reduce the dependence on kerosene stove or gas stove for cooking, lighting. And it will reduce the indoor air pollution, and it can reduce the cases of cancer in the women in the rural areas. And it can also reduce the respiratory diseases also. And because there are many villages where there is no electricity, so it will, this solar technology, by solar innovation, we can penetrate the technology innovations. And it will also increase the educational outcomes. And SDG 9, it can contribute because innovation, industry, infrastructure, triple I we can do. And we can also build the sustainable cities and communities where the dependence on external sources reduces. And also responsible consumption and production will also be there because we are integrating with the grid, where people can earn their own money by installing the solar panels on their rooftop. So although there are some challenges, like it requires high capital because we are not that superpower in semiconductors. And also there are technical and operational issues, energy storage, battery storage, grid integration. And there are geographical challenges, like in some northern and northeastern regions there is less exposure to sun, and also difficult terrain, uh, and people are not awareness is not there in the people. And there is policy hurdles also, and subsidy management, skill gaps, uh, battery disposal and recycling things. Recently, we have discovered the lithium traces in Jammu and Kashmir and Rajasthan regions. If we can harness that thing, we can make more batteries, and thus we can integrate the solar panels with that lithium ion batteries. And we can maybe will have the potential for increasing the supply chain management also. So in that way we can do. uh, so now we'll switch the next article. And this next article, recently we have seen that there are several floods in Bihar. And now we look on how it is impacting, why the Bihar floods are happening, what are the geographical reasons for that. So in page number 3, several Bihar districts face a flood threat after discharge of water. It's given. So why it is happening? What is the reason? We'll find out. And as we know that the Kosi River is called as the sorrow of Bihar. So there are other rivers. We'll see the geographical things also, and the social, economical, historical factors also. Why Bihar is lacking in the developmental processes? Why it is lacking behind those things? So first one is heavy rainfall in catchment areas, as Bihar is in the north side and Nepal is nearest to it. And Nepal is a, I mean, hilly region, so the water comes from upside catchment areas to, I mean, upside to the low side. And downstream, intense rainfall in the upstream areas leads to an increased flow of water downstream, and it because of that it leads to rising water levels in Bihar rivers. And also there is excessive discharge from dams, and because upstream dams are reservoirs, if they reach full capacity then they will overflow. That is also a reason. And when you look on Bihar geographical feature, there are major rivers that is flowing through the Bihar, that is Ganga, Kosi river, Gandak river, Bagamati, Mahananda. And there are frequently overflow during monsoons because surrounding areas are being occupied. And uh, Bihar is a low lying terrain, and much of Bihar is located on flat plains. And if it is flat, then it is highly prone to the flooding. And and the land is not elevated enough to allow the proper drainage to flow. And because of the deposition of silt, especially in the river of Kosi. And because if the deposition of silt is more, then the river capability, the carrying capacity will reduce. So because of that also, these things are happening. And there is discharge of water from Nepal, because this Bihar lies in the transboundary. There are many transboundary rivers, and many rivers flows through the Bihar, and it comes from the Himalayas of Nepal. So during heavy rainfall, there will be melting of glaciers also. And there is some lack of coordination between India and Nepal in managing the transboundary rivers. And other things might be like flood control measures are not that much followed, inadequate drainage and urbanization, climate change. Though the historically it is very good, now these things are happening because of the deforestation and soil erosion. Once upon a time, the Bihar is a place where it is full of forest. Now because of the climate change, many things happen there. And land degradation, soil erosion, deforestation, these things are there. And uh, so there are overall these things are there. uh, Kosi river is called as sorrow of Bihar. It is very important. And there are Punpun river, Balan river, Son river. So these rivers are there. So despite having the resources, why the Bihar is backward? One is colonial legacy. Because of the colonial legacy, uh, it is focused more on agriculture, and it lacked the industrial development also. Because of that also, now it is lacking the development. And in 1947, when India gained independence, the partition of Bengal meant that Bihar lost many industrial and commercial hubs like Calcutta, leading to economic isolation. And there are existence of feudalism, and land reforms happened. Feudal land holding system used to be there in Bihar. And there is a lot of political instability over the decades. And also there are governance issues, weak governance. There is no good governance, and poor infrastructure, health, educational system, and the criminalization of politics is there. Because more is the criminalization of politics, less will be the trust of the investor. And thus it discourages the investment, and it slows down the industrial growth also. And there are agricultural challenges because the fertility of land have been decreased due to the modernization. And there is a lot of migration from Bihar to the other places of India, especially the construction workers, because the land holding, the average land holding is not even 1 acre in Bihar. So I don't know the exact figure, just figure it out. But these things are there. The land holding, fragmentation of lands are there. And there is a caste based divisions, deep rooted caste hierarchies are there. And historically the dominated castes have controlled the land, wealth, and political power, and it led to the marginalization of lower castes and Dalits also. And there is much gender inequality in Bihar. And that led to low labor force participation rate, and low literacy, female literacy rate. And even the male literacy rate is also not that much great. So as we see in every meme, Bihar is mentioned. So this is the situation of Bihar. There are many skill gaps, and overpopulation is also there, unemployment there, migration issues, brain drain. uh, and it is also prone to frequent natural disasters, like damaging to the crops by the floods, and destroying of infrastructure, those things. So these things are there. We'll switch to the other article. Next, uh, mhm. So the next article is about the bulldozer. There is other thing. Residents protest Moosi River front raising in Hyderabad, demand compensations. So there is one agency in Hyderabad, that is Hyderabad Disaster Response and Asset Protection Agency. It will protect the assets of the government, and also for unregularized areas it will seize the property, and these days it is demolishing the property also. And because of that many people are affected, and the affected people, most of the people are poor people and marginalized section of people. And they have given an article about this. The thing is, the previous government have given the permission to construct their houses near the Musi basin. But now the Congress government, it is saying that those things are invalid, and people should vacate these places. And those houses include the politicians, and many people are also famous people are so there. At the same time, poor people also there. So with the demolition of those houses, now people are on the road and they are demanding compensation. And recently there are in many states these things are happening about demolition. Now we'll switch to the next article. UN expert criticizes punitive demolition by states, and the same article, similar article is been given on the same subject, page number 7. So authorities demolished the house of an accused in a rape murder case in Fatehpur district of Uttar Pradesh. And there is a recent article called as bulldozer justice. So where whenever the person who is rape, murder and serious crimes, the government is just going and hitting his property. His demolition of property is taking place, and we have also discussed 1 week ago about this topic. And now we'll know what is bulldozer justice and what is happening there. For just a quick comeback, we'll go and we'll see bulldozer justice. So it is a controversial practice where authorities typically, in our country it's going on, they use bulldozers to demolish properties of individuals who are accused of crimes, and often without following proper legal procedures. So this term has gained popularity because of the Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh governments, especially Sri Yogi Adityanath ji, the Uttar Pradesh CM. And so what are the features of this bulldozer justice is instant visible action, like, and bypassing legal process. So instead of letting the courts decide who is the guilt, who is the innocent, this government, the people will directly attack the charges. And this bulldozer justice will target the alleged criminals most of the time, and which is linked to the anti-encroachment drives or illegal constructions. And it also symbolizes political symbolism when we see in the sociological perspective. And it will violate the legal rights, it will violate the human rights, it lacks a due process of law, and there are political motivations behind that bulldozer justice. And next we'll switch to the next article. uh, I think it's about hepatitis. In page number 9, no ceasefire till we are free from the threat of terror. Israel ambassador says his country is urging India to ban Hamas. And some Hezbollah, Israel, those things, those politics are going on. We'll switch to the next article. Yeah, in page number 11, the science page, pigs may transmission route of rat hepatitis E to humans. So now we'll learn what is hepatitis E, and why it is in use, and also different types of hepatitis. So the possibility of pigs acting as a transmission route for rat hepatitis E, it's a growing concern in the zoonotic diseases field. And because from it will transmit from animals to humans. And rat hepatitis E virus, it is also known as the liver disease because it is caused by the hepatitis E virus, and it is usually transmitted through contaminated water and affects millions globally. And however, this virus exists in several forms, and it infecting different species. One is rat HEVC we call. So this virus is very distinct from the HEV variants, HEVA, HEVB, and this will infect humans. But recent studies indicate it may jump to humans under certain circumstances. Now we'll see what is the difference between hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. So the virus types, all types of virus except the hepatitis B is DNA virus. So hepatitis B is a DNA virus, whereas other types are RNA virus. So that is there. And the transmission route is hepatitis A is by contaminated food and water through the fecal or oral route. Hepatitis B about blood and sexual contact, and it transmits from mother to child. And hepatitis C is primarily through needle sharing, in especially in hospitals when the needle sharing is done. Hepatitis C will transmit, and hepatitis D is about requires HBV for transmission. So from B to D it will go. And hepatitis D about fecal oral route, contaminated water and food. And the HIV is not a chronic infection, and hepatitis E is also not chronic infection, but hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and hepatitis D, these are the chronic diseases. And the symptoms are like fatigue will be there, no energy, jaundice, nausea, vomiting sensation, fever, joint pains, those things are there. So there is no vaccine for D and E, and for ABC the vaccine is there. So that is all about the ABCD hepatitis. And next, I think this is the last article for today. Let's see. A walking fish uses appendages as sensory organs. So this is a species in use. It looks like fish, but it has legs. And sea robins are ocean fish, particularly suited to their bottom-dwelling lifestyle. And this fish has 6 leg-like appendages, make them so adept at scurrying, digging, and finding prey that other fish tend to hang out. So something is given. You can search as a sea robin, SEAROBINS on Google and just know about it. So just 2-3 lines have been given in the newspaper. And there is another article about the can Kerala's policy to limit antibiotics misuse reduce AMR. So this is about the Kerala and the food. Especially Kerala imports at least 60% of broiler chicken, eggs, and vegetables from neighboring states, and many of which have no AMR regulations in place for humans, animals, and agriculture. So what is AMR? So now we'll know about the AMR. AMR means antimicrobial resistance. So what is antimicrobial resistance? In last few podcasts also we have learned about antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance, it occurs when a bacteria, virus, fungi, and parasites they no longer respond to the medicines like antibiotics used to treat infections, and overuse and misuse of antibiotics in humans, animals, and agriculture, they contribute to the growing global health threat. So, and it is food safety is needed regarding that, and there is a large health impact on Kerala because of the transmission of zoonotic diseases. And because in many poultry and livestock farms, antibiotics are routinely used to promote growth and prevent diseases, especially in intensive farming systems. So this practice might lead to the development of resistant strains of bacteria, and it can lead to the long-term health diseases also. And there are cross-border risks, obviously, because since Kerala imports a large portion of its food, it is very vulnerable to agricultural practices and regulatory frameworks of other states. And if these states do not have a proper AMR monitoring or enforceable safety, the imported food products may carry a greater health risk. So that is the reason also that Kerala people have high sugar, high diseases like sugar and other things also. So in South India, so how what Kerala government can do is it should strengthen its import regulations. Maybe stricter checks should be done, and regular testing of imported food of antibiotics residues can be done. And also it should collaborate with neighboring states like memorandum of understanding. Those things can be done by promoting judicious use of antibiotics, because these days the antibiotics are very useful. If you can just uh, inject an injection to the hen, it will in just 1 week the meat production will come. The just 250-gram chicken, it will be become 1 kg, 1.5 kg, like that. So there are injections like that, and it is very dangerous to the human health. And also Kerala government can promote the local production of broiler chicken, eggs, vegetables, so that it can control the AMR risk which are associated with the food supply. And also public awareness should be done. So I think that is all for today. Thank you. Good night.